There are certain choices you are making in life, those mark your life forever. But what happens when you are at war and eventually you'll find yourself in a situation where you kill another human being? It is virtual. It is actually not true. Not a true event, but just another imagination. The moment you make it a reality, your life has changed forever. Thanks for tuning in. Always everywhere you go, you see fellow humans. Maybe not deep in the woods, but who goes there anyway? Maybe those who do not like to see humans. But even when you go into the woods, you are still surrounded by living beings. Probably there is no place on earth where there are no living beings. Even in an underground bunker, there are a lot of very tiny creatures spending a lifetime. Only by the fact that you are not communicating with them does not mean that you are not able to do that. Already being anywhere on this planet, you are communicating to your surrounding. The way you do or don't move is already a form of communication. Beings can see you as a threat, or maybe they can see you as a contributing meal. Hello, how are you? Saying that could be an icebreaker. When you encounter small animals and you don't like how they look, or you think they might bite you, and if they do, it can be detrimental to your health. Anyway, it would still be beneficial for you to be kind and not just use your superior force to end the life of that tiny little creature. Unfortunately, some ignorant kids sometimes even play like that. They kill the small animal just for fun. That is an experiment causing suffering and death for others, with the expectation that it can be fun to feel strong and merciless. To do something because you can do it is not always the best choice you can make in life. There are certain choices you are making in life, those mark your life forever. They taint your life with a negative, or in the best case, positive ambient. Many soldiers suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, called PTSD. Becoming a soldier is something you do out of a variety of reasons. Many start being soldiers out of economic interests. Some like the idea of being powerful and travel the world. Others enjoy the company of like-minded so-called friends. I remember that the place I was born, which is at the Danish border to Germany, many young men enjoyed the fantasy of war. It was the beginning of the First World War. On August the 1st, 1914, the Danish politician H.P. Hansen recorded this in his diary. Danes mourned in the street, but pro-German groups celebrated the mobilization with German national pride, parading and cheering amid flags and cheers. This borderland zeal faded as the war's brutal reality set in. In that very moment in history, those young citizens misunderstood war as a form of adventure, defending some theoretical concepts about country and nationality. But what happens when you are at war and eventually you'll find yourself in a situation where you kill another human being? There are studies about it. And although some people are numb to the experience, mostly humans are not. Did you really sign up to wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares? Even if the war is over, it will never be over for yourself. In the video game or in your own fantasy, it is very easy to kill someone. It is virtual. It is actually not true. Not a true event, but just another imagination. The moment you make it a reality, your life has changed forever. So, this is just a reminder for you to evaluate your options. And I don't think that any parent would wish for their child to go to war and experience these kind of events. Your parents want you to be safe and happy. And maybe you yourself want to be safe and happy. But maybe you are already a soldier or on the verge to become a soldier. That does not diminish in any way your ability to be a human or your ability to have a choice in life. Playing war in the beginning might be like a game, like an adventure, something exciting. When reality kicks in, it will be a different type of event. If you choose love, divine grace might protect you. If you choose hate and violence, you will suffer the consequences. Maybe this point of view gives you the option to qualify your decision-making. There might be some social pressure exerted over you when it comes to politics and perceived belonging to a certain group, a country or ethnicity. All these ideas are built on fantasies and actually are very limiting beliefs. These ignorant mind constructs believe in the illusion of separate entities. Me, you, they. You might be able to make rules where me ends and you starts. Scientifically, these are misunderstood perceptions of reality. Physically, there is no separation between us. Everything is filled with matter. But the hard problem of matter is, what actually is matter? Until today, although there is also a common understanding that our mind is situated in our brain, but so far no scientist has ever seen proof of that statement. No one has ever seen that what we call the mind. We use our mind continuously. And actually everything that happens and appears in reality is only reflected in the mind. We look at something and then we decide it is real. The mirage of a fountain in the middle of the desert seems to be real because we have a reflective understanding of the visual in our mind. Then eventually, when we try to reach the water, it was never there. The truth erased the illusion in our mind. The same way matter appears to be reality when it is reflected in our mind. But we should be careful to judge everything as real, because it is the basis of our decision making and ultimately of the behavior we express. Just ask yourself once in a while, when you are troubled with reality, is that really so? That might help you to put certain events into perspective. How can that change anything, you ask yourself? Well, the change comes from your superpower to not add any judgment on top of the actual event. When you look at any kind of event and take the judgment away, the event starts to be naked, without any added clothes, flavors, causes, or effects. It gives you the freedom to look at what is. You are allowed to surrender to what is. There is no real need to change anything. Just come into this present moment and make it the basis of your behavior. Try to be the real you that you are, here and now. Everything else feeds just an illusionary perception of reality. Let go of yesterday. It doesn't exist anymore. And don't get attached on tomorrow being a promised land that might never come. It is here now where you make your decisions and where you are actually living. And that space and time is not that complicated. Just relax and make one step at a time. Everything will unfold the way it has to. You cannot change that, but you can decide how to react to it. Don't worry, it will be very exciting. Enjoy the ride.